Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Albus Simpson here. Again. And today I'm going to be doing an album review, which is something I haven't done in a while. Last time I did was one of my first videos ever. And the album specifically is called Ram, and it's by Paul and Linda McCartney. But I'm going to get to that in a few seconds. But first I have to explain a few things. I haven't been making videos like I used to. And I have reasons. I have some reasons. One of those things is that, and this is probably the biggest one, and it's that setting up making a video, setting up my chairs and stuff, it takes a nice amount of time, and I don't really have that much time every day or even every week to do that, and sometimes I just don't want to. But overall, it's pretty much because of that. But I also found a solution, somewhat of a solution to that problem, and it's this. It's a stand for a phone, so you can film much easier. Because before, every video that I made, I had to like stack up dictionaries and put a PlayStation controller against my phone so it would hold it up. And it would be so complicated, sometimes my phone would fall, but now I have this stand that you can't really see, so it's much easier, much more convenient, and hopefully it'll inspire me to make more videos. And sometimes I don't really have many ideas for videos, and also I think Eggman died, so, and I mean like actually did, and I think that's pretty sad, you know, take a few weeks of silence for him, if you will, you know, just to appreciate his presence, because he made quite a big impact on my channel. Tons of videos wouldn't have been made if it wasn't for him. So I thank him, and rest in peace to Ray Bond. Anyway, on to what I was talking about. The album I'm reviewing is called Ram, and it's by Paul and Linda McCartney. Husband and wife. Fantastic couple. They stayed together for decades until one of them passed. But this is such a great album. As you all know, I'm a huge fan of McCartney. His solo work is just my favorite solo work of all time. And I'm definitely going to be making more and more videos of his stuff, reviewing and stuff like that. Overall, I have a pretty good copy on vinyl. The record itself is in great condition, and even the cover and stuff, and the spine, and this is all, it's a great record. It has a great cover. Not my favorite cover, but it's still great. And also, hidden in the cover is an acronym, which is a word, Lily, and it stands for Linda, I Love You, which is so nice. And it's a weird collage of stuff in there, you know, because this was around his time where he moved to Scotland and stuff, which was a fantastic story, because, you know, he was always depressed after the breakup of the Beatles, so it was nice. And also, that's when he formed Wings, around the time of Ram, which is a great band. Definitely one of my favorites. What was I on to next? Anyway, in 2012, it got remastered on the Archive Collection, which is some of the best stuff ever. It sounds beautiful. And I just really love this album. It's my second favorite Paul album overall. First is Flaming Pie, as you all know. It is. I wouldn't say it's a good album to start off with, but there's not many of his that are good to start off with. You know, because it's a bit strange. You need a lot of context going into it. So it happened again, where my phone stopped recording. Not the first time it's gonna do that. Not the last time. And it's unfortunate, really. But I decided, rather than let this stop me, I'm going to keep making the video. And I have it on the front camera, so I can actually see when it stops recording this time. So I'll be able to catch it, rather than record the whole thing, and not actually ever record. Anyway, so I pretty much finished the video. But I was on topic of opening into an album, and that's just wasting time. I'm gonna move on. Anyway, it's the 48th anniversary today of it being released into the UK. So I'm gonna start with number 12 because I'm going to rank all the songs from least to best. Now, with number 12, we have the reprise to Ram On, called Ram On. And this is truly, it's a nice song. It's not harmful, it's harmless, but it's also useless. I think it's nice to have on an album. You know, having a reprise is always nice. This time it was cool. It was cool to have that again. But there's really, it's 55 seconds long. You know, and the ending of it definitely probably inspired the song Big Barn Bed by Wings, because, you know, it has Who's That Coming Around the Corner? Who's that coming around the bend? Will it be my friend? Anyway. So, harmless, useless, you know. Now, number 11 is Eat at Home. This is probably, well, it is my least favorite real song. It's a good song. It's catchy. It's nice once again. But there's really not much to it. The lyrics are very simple. It's a very simple song overall. And it's basic once again. It's just, like I said, the lyrics are very simple. I don't like that phrase, eat at home. There's nothing in the refrigerator, there's nothing in the cabinets. All I got is cereal. Nothing to eat at home, so stop telling me to eat at home, because I got nothing. Anyway. So, there's that. It doesn't really do much for me. It kind of takes off with the album. From the album, if you will. Anyway, number 10 is Smile Away. This is a very rocky song, if you will. The lyrics actually are very original this time. And they're nice, you know, they're fun. On the first listen, it's like, wow, this is really weird stuff, you know. But over time, it doesn't really have. I caught it before it. Anyway, it doesn't have that same effect after the first listen. It's nice to listen to, but that's about it. It's just a simple, weird McCartney song, and it's similar to the album, but it's you know, it's okay. Number 9 this is where I really like the songs. This is where I consider them pretty great, actually. And it's number 9 is Three Legs. Three Legs is an obvious hit at the Beatles, and how after the breakup, it was very, it was rough, and the stuff that they had to do, they had to write in the lyrics, you're my dog, you got 2 legs, you got 3 legs, stuff like that. It's that type of thing, and obviously, all other 3 of the Beatles considered this pretty much offensive, if you will. Not necessarily offensive, but they pretty much knew what it was about. They, it's pretty obvious once you hear that it's about them. It's fairly obvious, and but it is once again a great song, and I actually really do like listening to it. I love how it changes, parts to parts, verses to verses, all that stuff, and it's actually really, really cool. It's a really cool song. Number 8 is the title track, if you will. Pretty much the title track, and it's Ram On. This is such a great song. I think this is where the songs get into beautiful territory. This song is just so cool. It's ukulele and these beautiful vocals by Paul, and these great lyrics that I'm very sure, were based off of his pseudonym that he used a few times. One of them was for Steve Miller, his song My Dark Hour. It was Paul Ramon, and I think that was his name. I don't know. Anyway, he used that pseudonym, and it's a really cool story, and it's a really cool song. And the sound of this song, I do not understand how it sounds so modern. It sounds like it came out this year, really. The production is excellent. It just sounds that great. Yeah, it sounds very new. Anyway, yeah, sounds modern. Now, number 7. This is pretty much tied with number 8, and it is Long-Haired Lady, a tribute to Linda, pretty much, even though she was still alive and making the album. This is a great tribute, because, Linda is the love of his life, pretty much, and her vocals on this song are beautiful. I know that lots of people say, they're usually okay, but I always disagree with them, and I think that her songs that she did are actually really great vocal-wise. I think that she does have very nice vocals, and I think that I really don't understand the hate that she gets for her vocals. I think that they're still great, and she does show it on this song, even though she's just kind of yelling. It's still really nice, and it's a nice touch to have her in a song about her, pretty much. And it's a very sing-alongable song. It's a very nice song. It's beautiful. The production is excellent. The little it's so nice. Such a nice song. Such a calming song. Love it. Number 6 is Heart of the Country. Heart of the Country is pretty much what this album is. It is about moving to Scotland, finding that home in the heart of the country, and making an album there, making a band there, doing all of this pretty much. And it's such a nice song to pretty much give context to the album. And I really like this song, and the guitar work on this is absolutely incredible. And I think that's it really does knock it up here, even though it would be either way. But the guitar work is excellent. I would probably never be able to do that, even though I've been learning it for a few years. Uh, it is absolutely excellent. The bass work too is great. I think that's pretty underrated, if there is any bass on this song. The lyrics, like I said, great stuff. Really, really cool stuff. I really like it. Anyway, number 5 is pretty much tied with number 6, and it's the song called Dear Boy. Very famous track off of this album. And once again, good old John Lennon thinks it's about himself, but it's not. It's about Linda's ex-husband. And once you figure that out, once you find that out, if you will, it's very obvious. You know, he talks about how she was just the cutest thing around. I have a feeling he's not talking about the Beatles when he's calling someone cute. That's just a feeling, I'm not gonna lie, but I also understand John. You know, it's definitely reasonable to think that it was about him, because this was the time of the breakup of the Beatles. You know, this was the time where everybody was pretty much against each other. You know, not pretty much none of the others, except for maybe Ringo sometimes, really liked Paul, because he was just against everything they did. But so like I said, I understand where he's coming from, but he's not right. But overall, I think that this song is great, and I think that it was such a great thing of Paul to do, to pretty much tell Linda's ex-husband, hey, you missed out. This is such a great marriage. You missed out on everything. So that's your fault, dear boy. You know, it's such a great message. And it's really strong of him to do that. You know. Yeah, I think that's what. And the rolling sound effect in like the background at the beginning is really cool, and the drums, fantastic stuff. Anyway, number 4 is a very popular song once again, definitely the most popular off of this album, and it's Uncle Albert / Admiral Halsey, and it is a great 2-part song, pretty much. Uncle Albert is a beautiful, sad kind of song. You know, it's got the rain stuff, and that's really nice. And it's a very calming song. And then it goes into Admiral Halsey, which is also a nice song, once again. Lyrically, both of these don't really make any sense, but the lyrics are really cool and very original and creative. And this was definitely the first song I heard off of this album, and one of the first solo McCartney songs I ever heard. Like I said, I think it's a great song, and it's very well known, and it's a great song, and I like it, and everybody else does. So, Uncle Albert / Admiral Halsey, nice stuff, Anyway, cool song. Number 3 is a song that is extremely underrated, and it is the song number 3 is Monkberry Moon Delight. I think that this song, fantastic. I don't know if I would call it a masterpiece, because there are some things wrong with it, but I think it's very close to being there. I think the lyrics make absolutely no sense. No matter how many times I read them, they still make no sense. and I don't know where he got the idea for any of them, but he did somehow, and they just make no sense. And but his vocals, they make up for it so much. He's like screaming, and but he so well. Like how I don't know how he does it, but he's able to make yelling sound like like poetry. It's so nice, and I'm I'm a huge fan. I think it's extremely underrated. Um, yeah, great song. Extremely catchy too. It's got nice guitar work, I must say. Number two is one that I think would probably be ranked the best for most people. But for me, it's just number two. And that song is Too Many People. Too Many People. What a great song. I used to always love this song. I still do, but I used to love it a lot more. And I listened to it all the time. It's such a, I thought it was such a great song. And I I think that lyrically, it's so great. Probably the best on the album. Maybe the best. We're not gonna jump to that. You know, the best already. So we still got one more. But it's so clever. The lyrics are so smart, and he really goes after John. I think that this is definitely one of his if not the biggest hey John, here's this song, man, type of song, other than maybe Here Today or Dear Friend. But either way, this was such uh, obviously John figured that out like he always does, and you know he got angry a little, I guess, and you know he made that picture imitating the cover, which he always does, right? Uh, but yeah, like I said, this was such a smart hit at John, and not that I like that, but it's really cool. Um, and I think that even though they were really badly fighting in that time, they still made some good music back. I mean, still good. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It was beautiful, amazing music that came out of that time period. And, you know, not that I like them fighting or anything like that, but overall, they didn't hate each other. They just did on the outside. On the inside, not so much. Anyway, great song. Great guitar opening, too. Number one, this is a beautiful masterpiece. And it completely carries the album for me, even though it's the closer. Even though it ends the album. And it ends the album very well, I must say. Number one is The Back Seat of My Car. The Back Seat of My Car. What a fantastic song. What a beautiful masterpiece. The orchestra in this song is so nice. I'll get Thrillington one day just for the back seat of my car. Unless it's not on there, then I'm not getting it. I don't care about it. Anyway, so nice. The lyrics, I have no idea what they're about, but they're so beautiful, and he does that all the time with the lyrics. They make no sense, but they're so great. I don't know how he does it, but he does it perfectly in this song. And the different endings are so great, and they're so fun, and it's such a great song. It's absolutely underrated, and you should definitely listen to it. I think that you'll at least think it's good, because it's that it's a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite Paul songs, absolutely, and it's definitely one of his most underrated. And it's one of, if not the best album closer by him. And he's made some great album closers. I mean, One of These Days, Beautiful Night / Great Day. Those three, including The Backseat of My Car, are some great album closers. But this really, it's like, can I even really compare them? Because this is such a great song, and oh man, absolute masterpiece, completely underrated. Anyway, I don't know what I just did, but it's produced beautifully. I guess that's the end of the video, and yeah, like I said, my second favorite Paul album. Great album. Great masterpiece of an album. 48 years old today in the UK. Really cool stuff. I love it. You all love it. Everybody says it's their favorite nowadays. I don't, but I still think it's my second favorite. I used to think it was my favorite, not anymore necessarily. Anyway, good night. And I hope I start making more videos lately. Because I need to do that, you know? It's that type of thing, you know? Anyway, I'll see you later. Good night. I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say I'll see you later. I don't usually do that. Good night.